Hi everybody, this is what I'm going to be using in this project, these stencils from Essential Stencil and the paint. I'm going to start with this fun little piece of wood that I have here that was already painted white, and we're going to put blue and red paint on this board right here. My name is Christy from Funky Junk Inspiration, and I appreciate you being here and watching Stencil Sundays with me and Mary from the Painted Peach and all our wonderful collaborators that have joined us today for the playlist. Playlist link is up in my description. Love it if you'd watch everybody. Make sure you like and comment each one of our videos. That just helps us out as creators. Okay, as you can see, I put the red paint on here. The red paint I use is Barn Red from Rust-Oleum chalked paint. I buy it in the quart and put it in the FIFO bottles. I really enjoy buying that kind of paint because it's a little cheaper buying it in a larger quantity, and the FIFO bottles work out absolutely perfect. Here I am using a navy blue. I believe it's nautical. It might just be, hold on just a second. It is actually plain old navy blue, and it is from Folk Art. So I happen to have it sitting here so I could tell you. So we're just putting that on there. And as you can see, there's really no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing except that I'm going long ways because I kind of want my board when we get done to look longer than it actually is, I guess you could say. Not that you're going to actually even be able to see these, but that's my thought process anyway. Things change as you go along. So now I'm just taking some plain old Elmer's glue and a chippy brush, and I'm putting on a generous coat of Elmer's glue on top of this. I'm just going back and forth and trying to make sure I cover the whole thing. And as you can see, my blue has started blending a little bit with the red, and that's because I'm reactivating that paint because I'm getting it wet. And anytime you have a water-based paint and you get it wet again, it's going to reactivate unless you put something like gesso or some sort of sealer on there before you go in with your next paint. Now, of course, I had a little hair from my chippy brush, but that happens. And I just ran the hairdryer over there for just a second. Didn't dry it completely, just dried it a little bit. Now I'm taking my white paint, which is linen white from the Rust-Oleum chalk paint group, I guess you would call it. I also buy it in the quart and put it in the FIFO bottles too. Now I'm trying not to keep going over it because I know we're not supposed to do that, but I can't help myself. So now I did make this go a little bit faster, but watch how you can see the magic start to take place as I'm drying this. I'm really getting that nice chippy look, but I can still see the red and the blue stripes underneath there. So that's exactly what I was going for. Of course, I smeared it up in the corner, which is something that I tend to do sometimes. Okay, so now I'm going to take this stencil. This is a 1970s Dodge Charger RT stencil from Essential Stencil. Well, boy, was I excited when I seen this stencil come out. The stencil pack also has a Mustang, and it also has a Chevelle in it. So it is a really nice muscle car stencil set. It's part of the Father's Day collection that has just came out. And if you guys know me, I do work for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. I work for Stellantis. I'm a tool maker. And I actually have a Charger. My husband's dream car is to get a Challenger, so this is kind of a neat little thing to have. And I am a car person. I absolutely love to go to drag races, car shows, things like that. So this is right up my alley. So right here, I couldn't get a hold of that because my nails, but there I ended up getting it pulled off. But isn't that a beautiful car? I absolutely love that. Now when I would see a car like that, I would be like, oh, hello. So that's exactly what I'm kind of putting on here. I'm putting hello darling on here because I think it just goes perfect with this, and I love this. I'm going to hang it up out in our garage. I'm going to probably be making quite a few of these because I really love this stencil. I like all muscle cars, but I will have to say I'm a little bit biased to the Chrysler Dodge muscle cars. So anyway, so thank you for joining us for the Stencil Sunday. Me and Mary from the Painted Peach do enjoy you being here. I want to remind you that I am an ambassador for Essential Stencil. Use the code funkyjunk at checkout and you'll save 10%. Now I'm going to go completely over into the girly realm, and we are going to do a door hanger here. And I don't know if you can tell, but you can kind of look on here and you can see that there's a bow sticking out at the top from the other side. In just a second, I'm going to show you the other side. All I'm doing here is painting this white. I usually go around the edges like that just so I don't get blobs of paint on the edges of my wood right there. And we're going to get that dry. And it's just, again, it's the white from the Rust-Oleum chalk paint right there. So, all right, so right here you're going to see what's on the other side. This is a project I did a few days ago. I did it over on Facebook, but I will be loading that video up over here on my YouTube video. Okay, so these are some older stencils from Essential Stencils, and every spring, summer, I always do a project with them because they are my absolute favorite. I love these. And you'll see I'm going to move them around a few different ways, but every time I make a project with these, someone usually ends up talking me out of the project. So I've yet to have one that has these flowers on it to stay at my house. And to be honest, my mom has already staked claim on the bead door hanger on the other side, so as soon as I put this on here, she's probably going to want this one too, but that's okay. I could always make another one. Anyway, so I kind of arranged the flowers on here. Now all I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my stencil brush and I'm going to go over the stencil. I'm not going to go in real detail. I'm just kind of getting an outline of the project. Now I want to tell you guys, the secret to stenciling is less is best on your brush. You really need to make sure that every time you get paint on your brush that you go through and you offload that paint. You don't want hardly any paint on your brush. Okay, you can see here I'm trying to line up, and I'm not going to do that leaf over the top of the daffodil there. I'm going to kind of make it look like it's behind it. You'll see when I take that off. So I'm just taking my little piece of cardstock here, and I'm blocking off what I don't want to stencil. Since I have the other stencil on here, it's you can see that through the stencil, so it looks a little funny on camera, but I did go around that flower. Okay, again, I'm just barely putting any paint on there. I'm not putting a lot, but see how it looks like that leaf is behind that flower, and that's what I wanted. Okay, so now I kept flipping this back and forth, and finally figured out how I wanted to put this on here. So anyway, so here we go with these. I think these are violets. I don't know. You guys, I don't know flowers very well, but whatever they are. And I was like, oh my gosh, look what I did. I got paint up there in the white. It's okay though. I'm just going to take a baby wipe and I'm just going to kind of wipe that off. Now, did it wipe a little bit of the white paint off too? Yes, it did. But we will fix that after this gets good and dry. Okay, so problem solved. Disaster has been averted. So no need to panic. If I couldn't have got it off, we would have just, maybe used a little bit of black and kind of mucked up the whole project to make it work. But it is just paint. Remember that. It's just paint, and if you mess up, you can paint over it, sand it off, start over, or whatever. Okay, as you can see here, I have some yellow paint, and I added some water to it, so it's kind of like a watercolor. Now, remember what I said a little while ago. You're going to reactivate that paint. You're going to reactivate that black paint a little bit because it is water-based paint, and I'm getting it wet again. So don't keep going over. Get your paint on there, and if you keep rubbing, it is going to cause some of that black to run. Now, my suggestion is to do like at the top and then just kind of, do a couple strokes down towards where the black is a little bit darker. That's why I kind of did it light. If I was doing this project and not filming, I would have done it even lighter, but I wanted you to be able to see the outline of this. This is almost like coloring in a coloring book. We're making our color page here, and then we're getting to put any colors that we want to do right here. So I picked the yellow and the pink and the purple. That's just the colors that I picked out. And I really like how these three colors really work good together. So here I am just finishing up this purple right here with this. Again, I want to remind you that we are in a playlist. The link is up in my description. Make sure you go check that out. We've got some wonderful people that are joining us today. There's going to be some amazing, amazing stencil projects. This is a Stencil Sunday. It's not all about essential stencils, but it is about any type of stenciling. So you're going to see all kinds of projects, I am sure. I'm sure we've got some chalk couture. I'm sure we'll probably have some magnolia. I don't know. I haven't seen everybody's videos. We may even have some people that have done their own, made their own stencils. We may even see some Stencil Smith. But I am using Essential Stencils, and if you use the code funkyjunk at checkout, when you order anything from Essential Stencil, you will save 10%, and that does help me out a little bit. Okay, right here I just used Kelly Green for my leaves, and as you notice, I missed a flower right there. So I had to go back in with my yellow, and I had way too much water on my brush. So I'm just taking my paper towel and I'm dabbing that off so that it's not real thick on there. Now I'm going to get that a good dry to make sure it's dry, because what we're going to do is we are going to lay our stencils back down, and we are going to re-stencil over the outlines to make that really, really pop on there. That's why I wasn't super duper careful when I was putting the quote unquote watercolor paint on there. Now you see I went ahead and grabbed my white paintbrush, put a little bit more paint on it, and hit those spots that we messed up earlier. Okay, so I'm just lining this back up. Now it is a little tricky because I've gotten yellow paint over the black. So normally when you lay your stencil back down, you lay it down until you find the color that you're working for. So I really concentrated on the stem and the leaves. And that made it easy for me to line that up. Now I will say this, I got it a little heavy in a couple spots, but that's okay. You will never notice that. One of the leaves here on this has got a lot of black in it. I'm not real sure exactly what happened there, other than the fact that I had a little bit too much paint on my brush. But I think it still looks pretty good. Okay, so now we're going to do the middle flower. Again, I'm using the stem to line it up. As you can see there, you can see it kind of go into place, and it's like, there's the spot. And I'm going to have to grab my cardstock again. I thought I had messed up right there, and I realized I hadn't yet. But if you do, again, it's just paint, sand it off, or fix it however you, can make it right. So there's no need to panic or anything like that. Okay, so now we're just going over that real quick. Right there. And then we're going to do the little violet. I think that's a violet. I don't know. It's probably something else. I'm not sure. Now I moved my black paint out of the way this time. And you can see there's black paint on the back of that stencil, but it is dry. It's from my boo-boo earlier. So we're all good right there. Now, these little leaves down here at the bottom kind of go up onto my project. But I did not stencil those. I kind of went around them because it would have just been the point of the leaf. So it just would have been like a couple black lines on the project, so I didn't think that would look very good. Okay, so there it is, you guys. I love this. I think this looks so cool. Now you could get really in depth with this and go over, I had a little boo-boo there. I'd missed a spot, I think. So anyway, you could really go over like with as you can see on that pink flower, we've got some dark and some light spots, and you could really, really do some shading and fun stuff like that with this. Now I'm just going to take this green ribbon. I just grabbed it. Now you could make a fancy bow. I'm just going to do this little fun, crazy looking little bow right here, and I'm just going to glue that on the top just to fill in a little bit of that space up there. I could have moved my flowers down a little bit further and put like welcome up there or something like that, but I just thought it looked cute. So here's the reveal of my Hello Darling 1970 Challenger RT. I love how that turned out. And then here is our flower door hanger. I just said bloom because I think that fits exactly what that is. I'd love it if you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit that bell to get notifications. And remember to use Funky Junk at checkout on the Essential Stencil page. Thanks, guys.